Aboro aboye aboshishe. Uh, I'm working from home for part of the day, and one of the really important things that I'm working on is my newly created email list. It's something that I hadn't really tried before, and it's interesting because I've gotten some positive feedback, and I've gotten some not positive feedback, and the not positive feedback has brought to my mind a story about the hunter. And this hunter was steadfast and really to himself in the way he did his job. He would go out and he would come back, and people would say, "Look at the hunter. The way he keeps to himself. He doesn't get involved with the gossip of the village and, you know, all the negotiating and going back that's happening in the market. He just goes out, he does what he needs to do, he comes back, and, you know, he makes what he has caught available to the people." As it turned out, the king had his festival, and he had this important ancestral knife that he was putting into a safe place. And in the process of the festival going on, someone accidentally bumped the place where the king kept the knife, and it fell behind a, um, a cabinet in the wall. And they searched high and low, and they couldn't find it. And so, you know, as time went on, they started to suspect people, and they started to kind of quietly and then not so quietly accuse people of stealing this knife. And so the people who used to say, "Look at the hunter," you know, and the way he works so steadfastly without being involved with all of the intrigues and the gossip of the community, then they started to look at him and they with a little bit of a suspicion and say, "Look at the hunter. The way he keeps to himself and doesn't do this and doesn't do that, the things that we do, you know, there must be something that he's hiding. I bet it was he who stole the knife." And as their, you know, communication, their talk with one another started to grow, they even were about to, you know, rush the hunter and accuse him when, lo and behold, they found the knife in the palace. And then people went back to saying, "Oh, look at the hunter. How steadfast he is. How earnest he is." And even in the midst of people being, you know, talking about him and gossiping about, you know, him being a thief, he never changed his ways, you know. And so it reminds me of what my friend Dr. Christoph told me about 15, 16 years ago, which was people will decide to like you or people will decide not to like you. And you only have 100% of energy. You only have 24 hours in a day, you know, and so there's only a certain percentage of your time and your energy that you can devote to managing what people think and how they feel and how they perceive you. At a certain point, you have to decide, you know, that you're going to do what you need to do. And this is important because in my field of work as a Babalawo and Ifa priest and a personal sustainability consultant, you know, I occupy this interesting space that's different. Most people in the Orisha tradition aren't public service professionals. They're not therapists or doctors or chiropractors. The majority of the people do other things. They're carpenters or singers or dancers or something else that doesn't directly pertain to human service. I am a counselor by training. You know, I am a therapist by profession. I am a trainer and a human development specialist by craft. That's what I do. That's all I do. And so my approach to the work of Ifa is different. Now, if I allow other people's perception and expectations of what an Ifa priest or an Olorisha is supposed to do, then I will be limited to their limited experience. But I cannot be limited to their experience because my own is different. And so part of my job in being true to myself is manifesting and expressing my natural gifts and talents according to my training, according to my craft, and according to who I am and what I was born to do. And so everyone at some point in their life will face that kind of a dilemma. To which extent do I compromise my own personal vision and my own personal ability in order to accommodate public opinion and expectations of others? And to what extent do I require that the public and the community and the people with whom I work to expand their understanding in order to accommodate and realize a greater possibility? Um, so with that, Ifa tells us that, I am walking the path that was cleaved by me, for me by my Ori. I am walking along the ancestral path and doing what was chosen for me in the time before time. And so I encourage you, as we reach another segment of time, as we conclude another chapter of our lives, seek out the wisdom of Ifa to be able to chart a path for yourself that resonates with your personal truth, but still works in agreement with the greater good. Aboru aboye, aboshisho.